Good evening to you peeps, Lisa there again, and tonight I'm delighted to be coming to you basically with this extra special bits between the bits, really just as a bit of a channel update and to catch us up on all the things that we've been doing and discussing in the recent videos. So enough from me and straight in. Now last time, if memory serves, we were talking about making stains and colours and using all natural products, which not only cost you less than a dime, but also does treat the wood very well. And I'll mention one or two things about wood and treating it. And not only that, it kind of goes with the natural grain and the natural flow of the wood, I think. And these things will age nicely with time. So yeah, to clarify a little bit on that, we have been working very hard this week on the little electric canjo, and here she is so far. So yeah, I did go in on the back of this one and actually do quite a bit of quite subtle shaping on the neck. Now I'm hoping if I hold it close to the camera you can get an idea. You see where that colour comes in, and then we've got the nice light bits here. That's basically where I've demonstrated, I think on an analytic actually, but I will do more about actually shaping the neck. If we go back to my old one, there's our control experiment. As you know, I didn't really sort of get the hole in the right place for the tuning peg, or the machine head if you want to be accurate. And you can see this one's had a bit of shaping. I made a bit of a mess on the back. It's a bit rough and a bit chunky. But I did a little bit on this as well. Took the can off now because I'm going to be working on this neck quite a bit. And that's the beauty of these, isn't it, really, because you can take them apart. You see, that's a bit rough, really. But this little one here is starting to take shape. Excuse me. I put a coat of olive oil on there, and I basically went in with more of the yellow, more of our turmeric stain on the front there, and various coffee and chicory on the back. Now, I've come to bring you the excellent news that you never need to buy varnish again. Not with these, because there's a much simpler way you can do it. Basically, really all I've used on there is oil. You saw all the stains and I did all those. Now when you buy this wood, like wood these days, how they treat it is quite awful, really. You know, in the old times they used to let this season properly and let it dry. But nowadays it's baked at ridiculous degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit or whatever, and absolutely dry as a bone when you get it, which is quite often why it will split, or it just feels dry and kind of brittle when you buy it. Now, the first couple of layers of tea that you put on actually do hydrate the wood pretty well. And then if you only sort of leave those a little while and go in with some olive oil, it displaces all the excess moisture, but locks in all the moisture that's been absorbed into the wood. And you will actually feel that it gets a lot more solid. So you can see that far up now. It gets a lot more sturdy and it doesn't flake when you're drilling it and all that sort of thing. If we move on to our lovely impromptu build here, the BBB, board on box, or whatever we're calling this one, yeah, Honest Jim. You can see that I've done a little bit more styling to him. He had a very basic neck. I've gone in on the back there as well. It's still quite pale where like I need to recolour that. You will notice that like I did all the fingerboard and everything before I shaped the back of the neck. Now that's from experience, the simple reason being, when you've got it clamped on the bench, if you've already shaped the neck, then that's quite difficult to keep it flat. So yeah, I mean you will sort of need to go in because we've shaped these edges. And I've done it quite gradually on here as well. Basically using a rasp and then just a couple of different grades of file to get it smooth. And oiled the fingerboard. Now, I'm sure many of you are familiar, if you do a lot of this sort of thing, that if you get a lot of different grades of sandpaper, And so start at something like about 100 grit, or even 80 if you want to really sort of smooth it off. And then I'll go through a few grades, so like maybe 150, and then moving up to something like about 300 to 500, and then finally 1500 on the front. And that actually is as smooth as glass, and it goes quite firm and quite hard. And then like that's it. You don't need to like varnish it, although obviously feel free to do so if you want to. It does, you know, basically season quite nicely, and then you've got a really nice smooth fingerboard, and that's it. With age it will get a lot harder on the front. You'll get a lot nicer colours and stuff like that, and they do sort of come through. This one's only had the tea. It had a very light grain, but you can see where if we hold it right up, it really does shine up, and yeah, that's smooth as anything. You run your fingers down it. So yeah, Honest Gem is actually looking a bit better now. I lowered the action on him, so basically he just forms a little groove in there using a round file. Put his bolt in. You will see on the headstock, as I mentioned, this was complete scrap wood that someone had thrown away. You can see where as I drilled through it kind of ripped out a lot of it. But the usual, just the Carpenter's Fairy Dust and Wood Glue I used to pack that. And I've gone in with various different grades of sandpaper, and you can see that's dead smooth now. That's purely made from sawdust. Again, it's better, I say, than commercial fillers. It blends with the wood better. You can colour it, you know, you can stain it. I've left this sort of looking a little bit rough and ready, because I think it really goes with the sort of ragamuffin nature of this instrument. But I'm ever so pleased with this one, as we know. Just, whoops, say, breaking the teapot. Just a box bolted on, very simple sound hole. And if I can find a slide, here's one. Give her a little go, shall we? So let's have a little listen to this. Get the idea anyway. So yeah, it's all looking good. Moving on to our electric canjo. Electric diddley bone. Do beg your pardon. Yes, a little bit of good luck yesterday because the pickup finally arrived. Now this was coming halfway across the world, and as you can see, we've got this nice, neat, natty little 3-string pickup it is. We're going to have it that way. And that's actually made from rosewood and maple, I think. So it's actually quite a nice piece. I've literally just took it out the box. And the difference with this, as opposed to like many of them, is that really that goes on from the inside and that pushes through the front. So, or at least that's the way I see it. We're going on the back of this box again. So, you know, obviously that's quite a deep recess there. And you'll notice that the hole goes in quite low down. Now the reason for that is, when we insert the neck, we want room for this pickup to sit nicely. And generally they're a little bit deeper than where the pole comes to. So we will have to take a little bit of material out of there. You want to keep that to a minimum, because obviously that'll kind of weaken it a bit. But I've never had a problem with the other one that I built. It hasn't broken or anything like that. And again, you see, like, this is a kind of fairly inexpensive. It was like £2.40 from B&Q mop handle. And when I got it, it seemed very light, almost brittle and flimsy. But it's actually quite solid now because it's absorbed all the moisture from the tea, from the turmeric and the coconut oil and everything like that. Now I actually make my own wax, which I will show you how to do. It's quite amusing actually, because I originally learned how to make this stuff as a hair treatment. It's basically just coconut oil and sprigs of rosemary, which you infuse into the oil, and then you strain it if you're going to put it in your hair and all sorts. But I didn't bother, I just let it cool down, and it went like wax or shoe polish almost. Now that's brilliant for going over these, because it has a very low melting point, coconut oil. And yeah, that's as solid as if you use Danish oil, or as if you varnished it, or if you went in with a load of linseed. I would do it gradually, because I've found with any kind of oil, if you kind of oil it too many times, it goes a bit honeycomb and spongy, because you know, it's so much of it's being absorbed into the wood. So, excuse me, that's another reason why some of these things take time, but you're always waiting for things to dry overnight, or leaving it for 24 hours, you know, to really set or whatever. But as again, you can see, this is just our normal haldi powder, cheap coffee, and a little bit of chicory. And it really has brought the colour of this one out. It's not as dark as the other one, but I thought we'd go with this because again, you can see last time it was just a load of notches that we'd cut. And I literally just gone in with a file, got it really flat on the back so that we'll have a nice flat part for the back of the machine head or the tuning peg. I've kind of just dipped it in at the front really, and where you've got the rounder part of the file, I will show you sometime, you can just sort of go in and out. It's really simple, just get a bit carried away, you know, and like, see, I've finished it slightly different ways. It's flat on the back there, a little bit more of an indent on the front, because that's where the string's going to go through the bottom of the pole. Just dip the ends to give them a nice colour. And that's actually coming on quite nicely. I do have the box in front of me. So here we go. Remembering of course that we're going this way with the box, which is why I put the sound holes in basically, so I wouldn't keep getting it the wrong way around. Do bear with me. Oh, get a younger luthier. Right, anyway. So, we're going to have something a bit like this. That'll be propped inside, which will stop it slip sliding around. And the usual way, we'll use a Jubilee clip for the nut, put the string through the bottom. It's starting to look quite nice and fancy, and by the time we've got this in, it will start to sort of look diddly bow shaped. And then, you know, if we spin around to the back, very nice and sort of ornate on the back. So yeah, I think that one's shaping up rather nicely also. And just finally, I will show you, we have the can here that we're going to use for the canjo. Now I haven't put the electrics in yet. I've actually got a spare can, and I'm going to do another dry run because I want to get this right first time. But you will see, in contrast to the wood, that's actually going to look quite nice. So I did think that I would bring you this today just to sort of catch you up on a few things, because I'm coming to the end of this year's projects and we're getting them all through. Yeah, and I didn't want to pile up too much before next year. We've got one or two things in the pipeline. It is December, and I know there's a lot of seasonal times coming up, you know, that people are celebrating. Hanukkah, Christmas, all that sort of thing. Yuletide. So I'm planning on doing a Liesl special in the coming weeks, which will be Liesl's Christmas and birthday bonanza. That's right, Christmas and birthday. I'm a Christmas baby, absolutely. So there's something you didn't know about me. My birthday's on Christmas Eve, as it goes, the 24th of December. So I'm hoping to upload then with our Christmas birthday bonanza. Maybe do something a bit of a old-fashioned theme, as is quite popular at this time of year. And, well, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm hoping it'll be a bloody good laugh anyway. And that's what it's all about, right? So we look forward to that one, and I'll keep you posted on all this anyway, all these up and coming events. Probably do a few more community posts. Yeah, you'll see the roundup on these instruments, because I am determined to get them done before Christmas. And yeah, we'll take it all from there. So quite a lot today that we got through. Hope I didn't waffle on too much, but I think we've basically covered just about everything. We'll be rounding one or two of these up soon. Continuing with the diddley bow. I'm just remembering all the stages we've got to go through so I don't cut corners, because I did say we do quite a thorough tutorial on this one. I'll show you how I go about it anyway, because you know, much greater things than these you will build, and I know you will, and you'll come up with some marvellous ideas of your own. Of course you will, because you'll put your own stamp on these, and if you just enjoy watching the videos, all the better. You know, thanks for coming along, dropping by, and as ever, you know, in whichever way, supporting this channel and this community. If you're watching, you're part of this community, and you know that. So thanks again, and yeah, leaves me only to say, as usual, whatever you're doing, stay safe, always stay blessed, and most of all, keep building. Okay then peeps, bye for now then, bye.